Yo, what you lot saying? It's your boy here. I'm keeping it quiet because my parents are asleep at the moment, but that's besides the point because I'm going to be reviewing the 2015 Canadian Grand Prix. So yeah, let's get right down to this video. We start off in practice, which basically was mostly wet, to be honest. Basically the biggest news from that session was that, well, both sessions actually, was that the Mercedes ran on the intermediates on full wet conditions, and as a result won them paid the price, as Lewis Hamilton slid off the road, the aquaplane off the road, hit the wall, going into the hairpin, and that was the end of his race. Very disappointing by him, to be honest, because he would have loved to made it back in one piece and maybe even got a game, to be honest, but unfortunately he did not run a game in P3, so yeah. And pretty much throughout the whole weekend he's been struggling, you know. He had a spin in P1, he was having a little bit of adventures with the chicane, final chicane, before the start from the straight. So really, yeah, he was struggling a little bit and really made it almost an open goal for Rosberg to take pole position, really put himself in the title fight. So yeah. But moving into qualifying, Q1 we saw Hamilton really put in a corker of a lap, showing that he hasn't lost his mojo. He's not having a bad weekend, and yeah, he's just moving on from a dismal practice session, and as a result taking the fastest lap there. So yeah, good job by Hamilton. Behind him was Rosberg, but Ferrari were having trouble, and that was Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian Vettel had an energy UK issue with his car that meant he was so slow in performance, and as a result was out of Q1. He was out of Q1, and then it got worse for him, as then he was dropped to the back of the grid almost the back of the grid due to him overtaking a car in I think it was practice 3 in a red flag situation. So yeah, his weekend's gone from bad to worse, and yeah, just unfortunate, to be honest, but that's rules are rules, and he broke it and he paid the price, and he's now paid the price. So yeah, let's hope and pray we can do a bit more better in the race. So yeah, and as well too, Massa was having almost the exact same issue as well. He had, I think it was a same sort of issue as well. He was losing a lot of power, and as a result was out of Q1. So unfortunate for him. Hasn't been out of Q1 I think since Russia. So yeah, unfortunate, but that's racing. These type of things can happen. Hopefully he can bounce back to the race. So yeah. And then going into Q2, we saw the Lotuses really shining in Q2, really setting some markers of lap times, really being right up there with the likes of Williams and the Ferrari, and maybe even the two Mercedes. So yeah, Lotus having a better weekend than they've done in the past 6 races. So yeah, and but out of Q2 were just the usual suspects, you know, like the Salvas, the Toro Rossos, and and I think that's about it. So yeah, so the usual suspects out of Q2, which then led to Q3, and a lot of people were setting really good times. Hamilton in his first one set a blistering lap time, which put him fastest over his teammate Nico Rosberg by about a couple of tenths. Nico said that his tyres were a little bit crap, so obviously Rosberg had a bit more to give to Hamilton, and but in the end Rosberg went again on the new tyres, but just completely wrecked it, and as a result wrecked his lap, and as a result would have to start from second on the grid. So yeah, so that meant that Lewis Hamilton took pole position for the Canadian Grand Prix. A fantastic pole by Lewis Hamilton, a very, very good lap by him, completely just hooked up that lap, to be honest. I mean, on his second run he wasn't even faster anyway, so it was his first run that got into pole position, so a good lap by him on his first run, hooked it up nicely, got the lap in when he needed to, and yeah, as a result took pole position over his teammate Nico Rosberg. Psychologically a good step up from Monaco a few weeks ago, so yeah, that'll definitely be raising Lewis Hamilton's mood from Monaco a few weeks ago, so yeah. Then in third it was Kimi Räikkönen, a good job by him in Ferrari. Fourth was Bottas, good lap by him as well. Fifth and sixth with the two Lotuses by Grosjean and Maldonado. So yeah, Lotus showing that they have got some good pace in qualifying, and maybe in the race. We'll have to wait and see on that one, but yeah, a good solid qualifying session by the two Lotus drivers. Really what they need to do, because they've been having dramas and problems all throughout this season, and to finally see signs of progress is fantastic to see, especially as they came from a dismal 2014, so yeah. So moving on into the race, it was a good start by Lewis Hamilton. Nico Rosberg and Kimi Räikkönen got a good start as well. No real dramas happening. Was happening on the first lap, which was nice to see. And then later on during the race, we saw Vettel and Massa charging their way up the field. Massa in particular, as he was trying to get ahead of Ericsson, he made a bold move. He went round the outside of Ericsson, going into turn one, then which made Massa go, gave Massa the inside line going into two, and they got perilously close to hitting each other. I mean, it was so close. I think it was like millimeters, to be honest. So yeah, very close between the two. No contact whatsoever. So great driving by the two, particularly with Ericsson to give Massa the space. So yeah, good driving by both drivers to give them good racing room. So yeah. And then later on, we saw a little bit of a battle going on between Alonso and the McLaren and Vettel and the Ferrari. Both of them were pushing as far as they can. Both of them were trying to keep each other, well, Alonso was trying to keep Vettel behind as long as possible, but in the end Vettel clearly had the straight line speed to dragged by the McLaren Honda there of Alonso there. And I even got to the point that Alonso said on the team radio that he basically saying, just admit it, like, your car is bad, your car is nowhere near the pace of the Ferraris or the Mercedes or whatnot. That's not what exactly he said, but he was referring to that. So yeah, just clearly getting so frustrated that he decided to crack, and he decided to let his emotions take over. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, don't blame him, to be honest, because when you're a driver, and you know, when you're a driver, all you're thinking of is winning. You know, all you're thinking is winning, and to not have the equipment on doing it becomes very frustrating. We've seen that with many drivers, to be honest, and now we're seeing it this weekend, particularly with Alonso. So yeah, just McLaren really having a torrid weekend. I mean, nothing going their way. I mean, hopefully it gets all better for them, because you know, really that's what they need. You know, especially especially as this engine's fresh. I know this engine's fresh and whatnot, but still, you would still think that they would be in the middle of the field, you know, battling with the likes of Fortini or Sauber, that kind of lot. So yeah, a bit disappointing. So yeah. And then later on, we saw a spin going on, and that was Hulkenberg. He spun. Basically, Vettel got a good run going down the straight. He had the slipstream. He overtook Hulkenberg, but then, as they came into the chicane, they were both side by side. Something had to give, and that was Hulkenberg, who spun off, almost hitting the wall of champions there. Thankfully, he got out of it unscathed. No body damage whatsoever between the pair of them. which was fantastic to see. But sadly for Hulkenberg, he lost a lot of time. I think honestly, Hulkenberg should have just let that one go. He should have let it go. He should have given Vettel the racing line for him to get out of it unscathed. But he didn't, and had to sort of pay the price by him spinning out. So yeah, unfortunate for Hulkenberg, but that's racing. So yeah. And then later on, we saw Alonso retire from the race, and then later on Button as well retired. So both McLarens were out of the race. So McLaren's terrible weekends gone from bad to worse, as both their cars were out of the race. Just really nothing's gone right for them. I mean, Button didn't even with Button, especially with Button not competing in qualifying. You know, it's just not going well for them. You know, I heard that they spent 2 tokens on their reliability, and to see that not, you know, making progress is a bit sad to see. And hopefully they will be better. Hopefully they will be a lot more stronger than they were in Canada. So yeah. And then later on, we saw a spin going on for Kimi Raikkonen. Something sort of like a deja vu moment from 2014, where he did the exact same thing. Coming out of the chicane, he spun the car and lost a hell of a lot of time. And as a result, Bottas was elevated to 3rd place there. Both of them was fighting so hard for 3rd place. It was really, really close. But in the end, because of that spin, Bottas managed to get 3rd place there. So yeah. And then later on, we saw an incident between Grosjean and Stevens. Grosjean was coming up to lap Stevens, and he hit Stevens. Grosjean got a punch. He went into the pits. Stevens had a broken front wing, so he had to go to the pits as well. Stevens was raging about it, saying that he was moving all over the place and whatnot. He turned into him and did all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think just reckless. I think it was Grosjean's fault, to be honest. You know, because Grosjean didn't, you know, Grosjean just moved into him. He just turned into him. He had all the space on the right, but he was moving to the left. So obviously it was Grosjean's fault, and as a result, he got a penalty, 5-second penalty, which would be added on to the race. So yeah. And then later on, we saw a sort of like a little bit of threats of a battle going on between the 2 Mercedes. Rosberg saying that Rosberg's engineer saying that do a little bit more brake saving or whatnot and then afterwards push as hard as you can in the last few laps. So it looked like we were going to see a big fight for the lead of the race between the 2 Mercs. But in the end, Hamilton really responded to Rosberg's attack, so much so that he pulled a 3-second advantage. He was 1.2 before it, but then Hamilton responded by pulling the gap up to 3 seconds. So yeah, Hamilton clearly showing that he had the better pace. He had a bit more to offer to Nico Rosberg. So yeah. And as a result, ultimately, Lewis Hamilton took his 4th Canadian Grand Prix win. Fantastic race by Lewis Hamilton, controlled the race thoroughly, saved his fuel at the right moments. 2nd place went to Nico Rosberg, good drive by him. He suffered a lot of braking issues and whatnot, so yeah, good on him for getting that thing to 2nd. 3rd was Valtteri Bottas, fantastic for the Williams team, their 3rd podium this season. Great to see that, to be honest. I mean, you know, they've shown a lot of consistent finishes. They've been really consistent this season, and to see the results, to see better results as the season progresses, is fantastic to see. And maybe hopefully we can see them maybe even getting a win this season. So but we're going to have to wait and see on that one, to be honest. So yeah, a good result by Valtteri, controlled the race thoroughly, so yeah. Fourth was Kimi Räikkönen, a good drive by him, controlled the race, even with the spin. It was unfortunate to see him spin, to be honest. I mean, he had a shot of getting onto the podium, but that spin really cost him a chance of getting the podium there, so unfortunate for him. Fifth was Vettel, good drive by him, especially coming from the back of the grid, good drive by him as well. Sixth was Massa. Good drive by him as well, especially coming from almost the back of the grid like Vettel as well, so yeah, good drive by him. Seventh was Maldonado, good drive by him, getting a few points. He hasn't had points since probably since the US Grand Prix, so yeah, a fantastic drive by him there in the Lotus, controlled the race thoroughly. Eighth was Hulkenberg, good drive by him, especially coming off a spin from a couple of laps back. So yeah, good drive by him there in eighth. Ninth was Grosjean, but then he would get the 5-second penalty, which then would drop him down the 10th. So yeah, unfortunate, but it was his fault. You know, it was deliberate. It was on purpose. It was a blatant, avoidable incident. So yeah, deserved the penalty. So yeah, but still, both Lotuses in the points. Good drive, good result by them. Good result by that team. They've been struggling a lot with bad lucks and retirements and all that kind of stuff, reliability problems and whatnot. So it's great to see both cars in the points. So yeah, I think that's about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then hit that like button below, subscribe if you're new, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. It's your boy, and out. Peace.